to go over. So I thought, why not practice it here? And then I'll also get a recording. Now, uh, that will be pretty splendid. So this is I have a presentation that I'm giving. It's a little crazy. I'm going to be giving one in Brussels and then drive up and give one in Amsterdam to a VMware enterprise architect sort of group, which is nice. I've presented to them many times, and they're always quite enjoyable. So it'll be fun to present again. So basically, I'll open this up and go for it and see what the results are. As always, when I'm presenting this, you might have to have a little pause while I figure something out. I might even have to restart over because the thing about presentations is they often don't work out at all when you do them for the first time. Let's see, practicing a talk. Now, the premise of this transformation and that kind of hoopla. The premise of it is that there's kind of like three layers of all this, how people transform and get better at software that I tend to study. And so I've tried to package up in the first one kind of a big overview intended to be about 45 minutes or so. And then the second one is really just sort of like the tips without all the context. That's supposed to be about, let's say 30 minutes or so. So let's bring up our little slides here. Oh, look, there's me. How's this one? Oh, down there. I kind of like that better. All right. So this is the first one that I have. This is the longer one. So let me note down what time it is. So if it's 12:13 right now, that's basically until 1 p.m. would be 45 minutes. All right. Well, thanks for having me here and for being here. Hopefully throughout the day, you'll have a good, useful time learning all sorts of practical things about what we mean and what we do, and more importantly, what the organizations we do when we talk about application modernization, and really, as I think about it, getting much better at software, helping however it is that you write the software, what the software does, how you run the software, really help your business out. So first of all, just very briefly, this is me. I'm really lucky. I've worked around VMware and Pivotal before that for about a total of 8 years or so. And I'm lucky that what I get to do is basically talk with people at large organizations. You can't really talk to an organization, but I get to talk with people like yourselves a lot to find out what they're doing to change how they do software. And by do software, I mean, you have developers writing it, you have people specifying and thinking about what you want that software to be. And then, of course, the other important part of software is that it needs to run. And it definitely, it's good that it works. That's always something that is easy to skip over. Anyhow, every year or so, I write up my current kind of the state of findings that I've had in these books here, which are easy to get. And I've worked at various places, and I do some podcasts here and there, kind of talking about this whole software development and infrastructure space, if you're interested in those things. But thanks to VMware, you can get a hold of those books if you're really interested in them. So let's start off with a story, something that I think a lot of people enjoy, and that is mayonnaise. I know myself, I enjoy it. And I want to start with this story because what it does is it tells you the goal of everything that follows, right? This is kind of like something to keep in mind when you're changing your infrastructure that you have, changing the way you think about and approach software, hopefully getting to the point where you change your organization and how it functions. So this is the story. This is a story from a while ago, but still very relevant, about an organization we worked with that's in the food services industry. So they not only will, they don't ship, but deliver food to you if you're a restaurant or a big restaurant, whatever it may be. It could also be a grocery store, I guess. But delivering the food to you. And they also will, if you want, they'll run the kitchen for you. So you can outsource running the kitchen. There's a lot of interesting analogies to how we do IT in the story as well to kind of think through. So when it comes to running these kitchens, this business, like so many businesses, They wanted to increase customer experience, kind of customer satisfaction, have a good product, and also optimize the cost so that they would have more profit, basically, right? So those are two of the main things that I think businesses go after, right? Like all organizations are focused on those things: good customer experience, revenue, and profit. And so this being about software, what this organization wanted to do is move from its kind of 3-ring binder, or however many ring binders you might have around here. I've noticed there's often a lot more than 3, as we have back in the States. But you have a paper process where recipes are sent out to these kitchens because you can outsource cooking at your large campus. They'll run the kitchen for you instead of you having to do it on your own at a big office complex or university or whatever. But I forget the exact details, but you can think every week, every month, they send out these paper recipe books, right? And these have been optimized by the people at headquarters or whatever to, be good food, but also fit within the parameters of the costs that people have, right? To kind of, they're scaling out this process to a whole bunch of different groups. Again, kind of like when you're architecting the way software is done and setting the process, right, across hundreds of groups that you may have. But a paper process is kind of error prone, right? Like one, you've got like a single point of failure, or you could replicate it to multiple ones, but you've got this recipe book, you've got to turn it, it's going to get stained, and also you can't update it on a daily basis. So of course, what the organization wanted to do was update the way that they achieve these outcomes and digitize it, put it on a tablet. Again, this was a little while ago, so tablets were all the rage. So they want to just make a digital version of their paperful thing, right? Now, they had a software team, and we were working with this team, kind of showing them a new way of doing software. And thankfully, this team, like a lot of the best practices teams out there, they didn't just immediately do what they were told. Instead, what they wanted to do and what they could do is they could take the time to understand the problem space, if you will, to go watch what people are doing, kind of see what worked and didn't work in what the users of their potential software were going to be doing, and come up with what they thought were the best ways to use software to achieve those goals of better customer experience and better income and things like that. So what these developers did is they would get up in the morning and they would go. There was a tiny visitor there, so I muted the microphone for a bit. But these developers got up very early in the morning for about a week or so, and they went into the kitchen and observed what the staff in the kitchen was doing, again, with this goal of better customer experience and better operational efficiency, right? And they noticed that the kitchen staff was spending a lot of their time running around measuring the temperature of mayonnaise. She's back. All right, the little visitor is taken care of, and the doors are locked. So they observed what people were doing, and because they were spending all this time measuring mayonnaise and chicken and other things like that, that seemed like a huge amount of toil that the organization was doing. And so the developers changed what they were going to do. Their theory was that if we can remove all this toil, we can automate it. Again, very similar to what we do in a lot of transformation projects. Then we can actually achieve those goals. That's something that we can do to achieve those goals of customer experience and efficiency. that is we can do more quickly and we can learn from, and it might even be more important. So this is a theory that they had, and because she would really like to present as well, because let's see.